All right, everybody, get ready, because we're about to take a deep dive into the surprisingly fascinating, I'm serious, the world of stone and ceramic flooring inspection.
Yeah.
And no, we're not just talking about checking for a cracked tile here and there.
No.
We've got this awesome article from Carcion, that's the Cleaning and Restoration Science Institute, if you're new here.
Right.
And let me tell you, it is way more interesting than it sounds.
Oh, it's way more than interesting. It's amazing.
So are you ready to dig into this?
I'm ready to dive in.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
This deep dive is going to rock your world. I mean, we're going way back talking ancient history.
Okay.
Then we'll hit you with some cutting-edge tech. And by the end, we'll even sprinkle in some business tips, especially for those of you looking to, clean up in the flooring industry.
Okay, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's set the stage a little bit for those of us like me who, love a good history lesson.
Right.
Stone and ceramic flooring. This isn't some new trend.
No, not a trend.
Yeah, we're talking way back.
We're talking millennia here.
Okay.
Imagine ancient Egypt.
Okay.
4000 BCE.
Wow.
These guys, they were crafting these amazingly intricate ceramic tiles.
Right.
And get this, it wasn't just for looks, although those pharaohs, they did love a bit of bling.
Of course.
But these tiles, they were integral. They were structural elements.
Wow.
In their palaces, their tombs, talk about making a statement.
So they were literally laying the foundation for what we walk on today.
Literally laying the foundation.
Right.
And here's another fun fact. Around the same time, you've got civilizations over Mesopotamia also using ceramic tiles, but they were all about practicality.
Okay.
It's like these two ancient cultures, they already embodied the two sides of flooring we see today, the decorative and the purely functional.
Wow, that's pretty cool to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so history lesson, officially mind-blowing. But I am itching to fast forward a few thousand years here. What are some of the big, game changers in flooring history that have kind of brought us to where we are today?
All right, well, if we're talking game changers, we got to give it up to the Roman Empire.
Okay.
These guys, they were masters of opus signinum.
Opus
Signinum. Basically, imagine this super durable mix of crushed terracotta and cement.
Yeah.
They used it to create some seriously impressive floors. I mean, stunning.
Really?
And don't even get me started on their mosaics. Those guys knew how to make a statement underfoot.
I can just picture these Roman emperors just like pacing around on their mosaic masterpieces, like planning world domination, one intricately placed tile at a time.
You're not wrong. And, it's not just about empires and conquests, right? This whole focus on craftsmanship, durability, design, it just keeps echoing through history.
Yeah.
It influenced everything from those gorgeous hand-painted tiles you see in medieval churches to those polished marble floors in Renaissance palaces. They were all about that.
Yeah, it's really amazing how those materials have stood the test of time.
It's true.
Speaking of which, let's jump forward to today,
Cool.
to the present day. How is technology changing the game for stone and ceramic flooring?
Oh, get ready, because this is where it gets really wild. We're talking about digital printing now.
Yeah.
Digital printing that allows for a level of customization and detail. I mean, it would have made those ancient artisans weep. They wouldn't believe it.
Really?
You want a replica of the Sistine Chapel ceiling, but on your bathroom floor.
Okay.
No problem.
That's amazing.
That's where we are.
Wow. Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away dreaming about, custom printed floors, let's get to the heart of this deep dive, which is the inspection process.
Right.
So what makes this more than just, like we said, looking for a cracked tile?
That's a great question. It's really a fundamental shift. Like, we're moving away from just reacting to damage and going towards proactively ensuring quality, and that those floors last a long, long time. Think of it as preventative medicine, but for your floors.
Okay, I love prevention, so I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? Are we talking like X-ray vision for floors or like floor analyzing robots?
Not quite robots, not yet at least.
Okay.
But one of the coolest things out there right now is three-dimensional image analysis.
Okay.
Imagine a system so precise it can capture 800,000 measurement points on a single tile.
800,000 points. My eyes can barely focus on that many details.
Yeah, it's a lot of data.
What's the point of all that data? What's the benefit?
It's all about finding those tiny, tiny imperfections, the ones you would never see just by looking.
Oh, okay.
We're talking microscopic cracks, surface deviations, all of that. And that's where the dilate and erode filters come in.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Dilate and erode. That sounds like something out of like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, they sound pretty futuristic, but they're actually just really clever algorithms like digital detective.
Digital detectives.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these detective algorithms.
So imagine you take like a super high resolution scan of your floor, but instead of just a picture, it creates this 3D map. Every
Oh.
single bump, every single dip, it's all there. Then these dilate and erode filters, they come in and they basically magnify those tiny, tiny cracks and deviations that could turn into big problems later on.
So it's like having a microscopic Sherlock Holmes sweeping the scene, but instead of a magnifying glass, it's an algorithm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what they can do now. And here's the thing, this level of precision, it's not just about like geeking out over technology, you know?
Right.
It's about raising the bar, establishing a new standard for quality control in the flooring industry.
Okay, that makes sense. So with all these fancy techniques, I'm curious, are there like industry standards in place to make sure these inspections are legit? Like that it's not just someone, eyeballing it and calling it a day?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely don't want just anyone eyeballing it. You need those standards. And that's where ANSI AEC RCS 220 comes in.
Okay.
That's kind of the gold standard for hard surface inspections. It lays out a really clear framework for how these inspections should be done. It takes out all the guesswork, so it's not just, someone's subjective opinion.
So no more, well, it looks level to me from contractors.
Exactly. This protects everyone involved. The installer knows exactly what's expected of them, and the customer, they get that peace of mind knowing their floors have been checked and double-checked to the highest standard.
I love it when everyone's on the same page.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, talk about some real-world stuff.
Sure.
What are some of the most common issues that pop up with stone and ceramic flooring?
Honestly, one of the biggest culprits is installation errors. This is where, like, hiring a truly experienced professional, it makes all the difference in the world. We're talking uneven tiles, that dreaded lippage where one tile sits a bit higher than the others, grout lines that look, well, let's just say they've seen better days.
Yeah, those are definitely not a good look, and I'm guessing those aren't just aesthetic problems, right?
Sadly, no. They might seem minor at first, but over time they can create a domino effect. You start seeing cracks, chips, in some really bad cases, even structural damage. It can snowball pretty quickly.
That's why that proactive inspection is so important. Catch it before it becomes a major headache.
Exactly. And it's not just about what happens during installation, everyday wear and tear. It takes a toll, too. Dropping a heavy object, dragging furniture across the floor, all that can lead to cracks and chips over time.
Okay, so I'm already picturing my entire house being padded. What about stains? Those seem like a nightmare,
Well,
especially on lighter colored flooring.
stains are definitely a concern, especially in those high traffic areas like kitchens and bathrooms.
Right?
The key is being proactive. Clean up spills right away, don't let them sit, and be mindful of the cleaning products you're using. Some harsh chemicals can actually etch the surface, which makes it even more susceptible to staining. Oh, and consider a sealant, especially for natural stone. That extra layer of protection can make a big difference.
Prevention is key.
Always.
But even with the best care, sometimes accidents happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
What other things should we look out for?
Well, sometimes the issues aren't from damage or wear and tear. They come from the tiles themselves. You've got crazing, which is where you get this network of fine cracks in the glaze. It's usually just cosmetic, but something to be aware of if you're going for that flawless look.
So basically, there's a lot more to a good floor than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
And this deep dive, wow, this is proving to be incredibly insightful.
We've only just scratched the surface. Speaking of which, there's a whole other side to this we haven't even touched on yet, and that's the world of sustainable flooring options.
Oh, sustainable flooring. Okay, now that's something I want to hear more about. Tell me everything. Sustainable flooring. So it's not just about bamboo anymore, is it?
Oh, no, not even close. We're seeing so many more eco-friendly options these days, and they're not just, granola and Birkenstocks.
Okay, good to know.
We're talking style, durability, the whole package, but with a much lighter footprint.
So like what kind of materials are we talking about?
Reclaimed wood is huge right now. It's got that rustic charm.
Right.
Cork is making a comeback. It's naturally antimicrobial, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
And even linoleum. Yeah, linoleum is having a moment.
Really? Linoleum, like what my grandma had in her kitchen.
Yeah, but it's come a long way, baby. Now it's all sleek and modern, comes in amazing colors and patterns.
Yeah.
And the best part is, a lot of these materials, they're what we call rapidly renewable resources.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means they replenish quickly, Like bamboo, for instance, that stuff can grow like a foot a day, sometimes more.
Wow, a foot a day.
Yeah, compare that to hardwood, which can take like decades to mature.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Huge. Plus, a lot of these sustainable options, they have lower VOC emissions, which is huge for indoor air quality.
Right, right. Because who wants to be breathing in a bunch of chemicals?
Exactly, no one.
So it's a win-win, good for the planet and good for us.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the materials themselves. The whole manufacturing process is getting a green makeover too.
Oh, really? How so?
We're seeing a big push towards using more energy efficient technologies, reducing carbon emissions, and being more responsible about where they're sourcing materials.
Okay, so less waste, less pollution. I like it.
Absolutely. Some companies are even taking it a step further, like they're finding really innovative ways to minimize water usage throughout the whole production cycle.
It's incredible how much thought and effort is going into making the flooring industry more sustainable.
It's really impressive, and the best part is, all this focus on sustainability, it's actually driving even more innovation. Companies are constantly on the lookout for new materials, new technologies to lighten their environmental impact.
Which is ultimately good for everyone, right?
Exactly. It's a beautiful cycle.
It really is. But okay, let's be real for a second. With all these different options out there, how is the average person supposed to make an informed choice about sustainable flooring?
Yeah, I get it. It can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, good.
A good place to start is by looking for certifications, eco-labels from reputable organizations.
Okay.
Think of them like little stamps of approval. They tell you this product has met certain sustainability standards.
Okay, that's really helpful. So look for the labels.
Yeah.
What else?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's huge. A good flooring professional will be happy to walk you through all the options, explain the pros and cons, help you find something that aligns with your values.
Okay, that makes me feel better. It's all about doing your homework.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
This has been eye-opening. Who knew there was so much to learn about, well, what's right under our feet? I don't think I'll ever look at a floor the same way again.
I hope not. That's kind of the goal, to help people appreciate the artistry, the craftsmanship, the technology, all of it that goes into making the surfaces we walk on every day. We take floors for granted, but they've got quite the story to tell.
Well said. And speaking of stories, for our listeners who are now just as fascinated by this topic as we are, we highly recommend checking out the full article from Karsitai. That's the Cleaning and Restoration Science Institute. You can find a link to it in our show notes. They go even deeper into the history, the science, the future of stone and ceramic flooring. It's a great read.
It really is. Whether you're a homeowner, a business owner, or just someone who loves a good deep dive, there's something in there for everyone.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, a huge thank you to our expert for joining us today and sharing all your wisdom.
Thanks for having me. Always happy to geek out about flooring.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We hope you learned something new today. Until next time, happy flooring.